let's just say accidentally. All right. This sounds ridiculous.
What are you doing accident? Let me hear this sentence.
I'm making up a hypothetical
Yes.
scenario, okay? Let's just say accidentally, I don't know, a friend prepares a dish.
Yeah.
You didn't know that it was salted.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
Something like that. Some scenario like that, right? A salad, right? You didn't know. Oh, you prepared me a salad. Oh, this
Yeah.
looks lovely, and there's oil and vinegar or something. I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And salt. So you eat this thing thinking there's no salt. The hit is intense, and it can be like, it can be a bit overbearing, right? But that will not happen unless you give it up for months and months and months and months consistently. There is no, and guys, I have to stress this. I have to stress this very, very strongly. You're not going to be free of the tyranny that salt has on your taste buds unless you give it up consistently, day to day, for months. If you don't do that and you play oh, I can moderate this poison, right? Oh, yeah, I'll just do it every once every 2 weeks. Oh, I want to go out with my friends and I want to go to the restaurant and whatnot. Bring your own damn food. Right? Your friends will still love you. I've been doing it for years.
What the hell do you do when you go to restaurants?
Bring my own damn food if I'm eating, or I just don't eat because I'm not hungry. I probably
You just
already
hold a
ate.
split the whole time above the table on the chandelier. Just fucking, you guys eat, I'll be up here. You just fucking, same. Bring your own. Guys, I mean, we
Just
could do
bring
a
your own.
whole episode on this, Eli, but like,
Yeah.
I have never in 15 30 years had
Mm.
a problem. I always ask for another plate. I tell the waiter, I'm going to share with my friend.
Mm.
I take my grapes, I put them on the plate.
Yeah.
Everyone eats what they want. What
Mm.
is the problem? Why do
That's it.
people have, well, we know why, because the excuses. But
Right.
anyway, people have such a problem eating raw in the real world, but me and Eli don't.
Yeah, this is one of those things. Uh, this is one of those things that was never an issue. I didn't even pay this a moment's thought, because there were already, when I started this game, there were already no acceptable options in the restaurant. And if you are backed into a corner and put in a position, right, surrounded by guards pointing guns at you, okay, if there's no option left, then one course of action, right, which is just to defend yourself in that case. In the case of going out,
Similar.
I don't have the luxury of saying, oh, I'll just order the pizza. No, I can't. That's not even an option. So my mind doesn't even waste time thinking about it. Just bring your own food. And so that was so easy for me because I'd
Yeah.
logged in enough time nerding out on books to understand exactly why it's in my best interest not to eat with everybody. Right. So I understood that clear as a bell, clear as a bell, confidence of a mountain, right?
I'm gonna put
And
that video below of you with on the squat with the mountain and the
yeah,
river and the superhero shit.
yeah,
That video is that's it. That's it that everyone's missing. They think it
yeah,
has to do with the food. It has to do with the mind. You
yeah,
changed your mindset around what is food and
yes,
what is not food. You
yes,
realized, oh, this piece of paper is not food.
yeah,
That chicken wing is not food. That French fry is not food.
right,
Yeah, same, but I didn't have the words to express it,
right,
before
right.
that video. That video is mwah.
Oh, I'm
That
glad you
video's
like
good.
it.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
I'm
you.
glad you like it. Yeah, but that's how I would answer that question. It's only an issue if you make it an issue. I assure you guys, your friends will, if they're real friends, of course, your friends will love you just the same if you they would rather you show up than not show up and not
Mm,
eat with them. They would
mm,
rather you show up and eat something with them. And at
mm-hmm,
least then you have spent time with them. They would
mm-hmm.
much prefer that than you saying, "Oh, I can't because we're going to a restaurant," right?
If they're
Just,
real friends, but a lot of people have fake motherfuckers in their life
yeah, that's
and they
true.
want them to be addicted with them, and those are not your real friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are come to the Woodstock Fruit Festival and make real friends that care about their health, and you're allowed to care about your health too. That's what I had to do. I have hundreds of real fruity cuties all around the world now, maybe thousands, that don't judge me and are not shaming me for eating the way I want to eat.
Yeah,
My species specific diet. Okay,
right.
Eli, want to
Hmm.
let you go soon because I want to take up too much time from you, but I have a few more questions.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we have to get back to salt. Sorry, we
Yeah,
went
yeah.
on a tangent, but it's very important for people to realize
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no
they
problem.
can be raw in the real world. They can be salt free because, oh, by the way, at these restaurants, you think you're going to find one thing that doesn't have salt? You think you're going to find one? You think you're going to find one? Even the tea, the motherfucking tea. Don't even try to order tea in these restaurants. Okay? Are you kidding me? I wouldn't trust the water, the tea, the napkin has salt on it, the fork has salt. Like, don't even breathe. Don't even breathe in these restaurants. Now, question, how do you, okay, so how do you get enough sodium from fruit and vegetables? What do you do?
Mm.
This is a silly question for me to ask you, but we gotta ask it.
Yeah, yeah,
Got the
yeah.
question. What do you do to ensure you're getting enough sodium? Because even you admitted we need sodium in our diet. You admitted that.
I did.
You did. So how do you get your sodium? How do you ensure you're getting enough? Do you drink Ensure? Do you take a supplement? What do you do?
Um, have, have you ever seen an organic mol atom of sodium? I, I certainly haven't. I don't know. I've never seen an atom of fluoride, I, organic fluoride. Okay, I don't know what those things look like in food in plants. I have no senses to detect uh, these organic minerals. If I put them in my mouth, I might get a taste. And I'm like, okay, all right, now I can. Visually, though, I can't manipulate them in any way. Um, if you were supposed to be here's what I'm getting at. If you were supposed to be worrying about these things, if you were supposed to even know they exist, then you would have been furnished with tools to perceive them, to manipulate them, to do all the things with them that we currently do to food. But we haven't. We haven't. You're not supposed to be worrying about those things. You're not supposed to be. If you if you try to do the same silly nutritional error that has been plaguing mankind ever since modernity, and design your diet based on assumptions about the microscopic world that you don't have access to with your senses, and then from that structure your diet. If you play that game, Mother Nature will always be laughing at you in the end.
And
Okay?
we will be laughing too. Me and Eli
We will
will
be
also
laughing.
be laughing at you at the Woodstock Fruit Festival 2026. Okay, sorry,
I can't wait.
continue.
I can't wait, actually.
We will be laughing at
Yeah. So you are putting, and I always say this because people need reminding 24/7. You are
yeah.
putting the cart before the horse.
Mm,
Okay? You're not, you are supposed to be structuring your
mm,
diet based on
yeah.
the world that you have access to with your senses. That is the only way Mother Nature designed the eating relationship. If you try to skirt around that, go around that, circumnavigate around if you
What
try
does
to.
that mean though? What does that mean exactly? Because,
Mm.
with your senses, what does that mean?
Okay, what does it mean? Um, so the person's asking, okay, well, I don't know. Do you count your calories? Do you
Yeah.
monitor your proteins, your fats, your proteins? Okay, let's just say that's what the person's answering. I respond, I don't have any tools to be able to accurately measure or quantify any of these things. I have never in my life picked a picked a carbohydrate from a carbohydrate tree and eaten a single carbohydrate, right? You can't
No,
do
but
that.
fruit is carbohydrate.
Yes, it contains many carbohydrates, of course, right? And maybe a bazillion other things that you also equally have no idea are there or exist, right? A, a, a person could conceivably go their entire lifetime not ever knowing that anything like a carbohydrate exists. To be honest, if that person did exist, like someone who was just completely unplugged, I can guarantee you they would have better eating instincts than most everybody. Guarantee, because they're going only based on God's gift, right? Your gauge for determining what food is. So if you don't philosophically place that as the priority for determining your eating behavior, you're going to get intellectually tossed around on a tumultuous sea of human inane nonsense. Okay, you will be ripe for deception. You'll be exactly the type of person that the industry loves to market to because you're not rooted in some deep internal value system,
Take them
right?
to church, Eli. Take them to church. That right there, right there is why they're falling for
Right,
all the supplements and the all the people that say the salt, you need the sodium, you need
right,
this, you need this, you need
right,
this. You're falling for it because of that.
right, right.
Mm.
You're exactly.
Ooh.
You're falling for it because you have been conditioned to, because modernity has conditioned you to put the cart before the horse 24/7.
You said the
And
word twice. What is modernity? We don't know what that word means.
all it means
Modern
is the
time?
point in history where we can start to recognize modern day technological living elements, right? So the time at which technology allowed us to completely conquer and master, change our environments to suit our preferences. Okay, you can
Mm.
call that the start of modernity, right? The beginning of a modern environment. All right. So from the time that we
Okay.
changed our environment completely to suit us, right?
Okay.
Rather than the way it was supposed to be, where you have to you have to be in your natural environment. You can't change it. So you have to just live where you're supposed to be living. But now because of what we can do, we can change our environment, which is not something animals can do, right? But
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Yeah,
Thank you. And
yeah.
when you said you don't have the tools to figure out the calories and the protein, well, you don't have ChatGPT? I don't
Hmm.
understand what you mean by that. Like, everyone has the tools. You don't have chronometer, Eli? That's why you can't figure out how much to eat or how much to not eat? What do you mean by that? You don't the tools.
Mother Nature will always get the last laugh.
Mm,
Always get the last laugh if you continue to think like this. It
mm,
doesn't matter how accurate you think these chemists and scientists have it, you will always be laughed at by nature in the end. You will always have to return to Mother Nature in some way, right? In order to get your healing, in order to put your mind
mm.
right. It will. It will never work. All of our problems are always because we're divorcing ourselves from and misaligning ourselves from nature and her laws, one way or the other. And you can fool yourself into believing that scientific living is what's going to save you. It, it not as much, not as much. So yeah, what I mean by that, okay, not the tools, not having the tools, is is that you just don't have any way of quantify. Like if I want to do something, if I want to make a chair, for example, what has what are the qualities of the materials of the chair? Like what do they need to be before I can manipulate it and do something with it? Okay, well, the chair has to be visible, right? The chair has to be able to be touched. Um, I, I like those basics, I need to be able to actually interact with the raw materials of the chair if I'm going to make a chair, right? And imagine if someone told you, I want you to make a chair out of materials that don't exist in reality. You're going to look at them and say, I'm not a I'm not a sorcerer. I'm a chairsmith, right? So you need to be able to have some way of gauging, of seeing, of measuring, right? Otherwise, you're playing this arbitrary guessing game. Now, nature gave you those tools in order to make that determination, and that's your palate, right? Because your palate is loaded with all of these natural instructions, right? That reject anything that shouldn't be there. And now you're taught to ignore this just utterly and completely. It doesn't matter how loudly your palate is screaming that something is not actually food. No, what do you do as humans? You find some way to fool yourself into accepting whatever that item is. And then you say that you've satisfied yourself nutritionally. Well, it could very well be that your nature is not fooling you when it says don't eat that piece of wood because it's wood, you idiot, right? Don't go and process it first and then let it marinate in oil, and then you throw some honey mustard on it and no, no, you're fooling yourself, right? It's wood, for Christ's sakes. You don't season wood and eat it, right? Because wood, you can't digest it properly. And so if you try to play nature, you try to outsmart nature by ignoring this relationship and putting into your system that which your nature screams is objectionable, it will be you that has to pay the piper, right?
You play yourself, boo. When you play
Yes.
nature, you play yourself.
You
That's what
play,
Eli's trying to say. You
yes.
play yourself. Woo, that
Yes.
was good.
Yes.
No, because you talking about everything that people think is okay to eat. Because
Right.
everybody here is vegan, but they eating French fries. Well, you can't eat a potato. You can't eat a potato. Oh, but
Right.
starch solution. No, but you can't eat that.
Yeah.
You manipulating it, you
Yeah.
putting salt, you oil, cooking. Let's not even talk about the cooking process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And
Right.
then you want amazing health, but you don't even want to master the basics. You want
Yeah.
amazing, yeah, go on.
Yeah. No, no, no. You got it. You're on a roll. People want the best of health, but they haven't even read the owner's manual to their body,
Woo!
right? You have to start from somewhere. Okay. It, try that, right? We need to try this. Read the owner's manual. I guarantee you there's a lot of information in there that's very, very helpful, right?
Well, you haven't written it yet. Could you write it? You know,
Ah,
that's the name of your book. Eli Martyr, The Owner's
the
Manual to
owner's
the Human
manual.
Body.
That's
And I
actually
want
good.
10%. I want
That's
10% because that's going to be
wow,
the
that's
new
excessive. Yeah.
that's going to be the new mucusless diet healing system, which is an interesting title. You know,
Yeah. No,
I
that's no,
love
I like that actually.
Arnold
Yeah.
Ehret. But the
No,
user's manual, that's a
mm,
good one because there is no user's manual, Eli.
right.
When I think about the user's manual, I think about the mucusless diet healing system, which
Right.
nobody really wants to read because it's like, what mucus? What? I don't know. It's just a weird title. I love
Yeah.
him and
Yeah.
it changed my life. But anyway, A Return to the Brain of Eden, that's a kind of a user's manual, but like not really. It's
Yeah.
great. I can't think of one user's manual. Victorious Klavinskis wrote this
Right.
1,000 page. Don't do a 1,000 page book.
Ooh,
Don't
no,
read it.
no, no, no,
Nobody will
no,
read it.
no, no,
Um,
no way.
so
Yeah.
so yeah, okay, that is it. Guys, we want amazing health. We don't want to master the basics. Before you take a supplement, before you could do whatever you want. But for me, I'm not going to go to a doctor if I'm not even getting outside every day, sleeping every day, eating a raw vegan diet. If I'm not mastering the basics, what can a doctor do for me? He's going to
Mm,
help me to do what? I haven't mastered the basics
yeah.
of being a human. You're not exercising, you're not moving your lymphatic system. What do you
Mm,
expect? What do you expect? You just want to take a pill and try to take a shortcut. But when you take shortcuts, you get cut short, boo. That's what Eli just
right.
said. Eli just
Right.
said it. And you get cut short and you laugh at Mother Nature. Oh, I'm gonna make these French fries. I'm gonna show Mother Nature what she could
Yeah.
do with this. No, you got played. You
Yes.
played yourself. Ooh,
Yes.
Eli. Ooh, you good.
Yes.
You good. You
Yes.
good.
We're
You
yeah,
good.
we're always playing ourselves. We're always
Dude.
playing ourselves. And I can't forget to mention this.
Yeah?
Someone someone in there had said, "Yeah, but good luck finding anything in the restaurant that
Oh yeah.
isn't salted or oiled or
I
whatever."
said that. I
Oh,
said
was
that.
that you? Oh, never mind. Okay, okay, never mind. Okay, I thought someone else said that, and you were like, you
No,
were
me.
repeating their comment. Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, everything is salted, oiled, vinegared, whatever it is. And so that should be a clue because they can't operate any other way. They need to play tricks on your palate. They need to insult Mother Nature by working their food around what you would naturally reject. Imagine if you ordered the Nutella bread and they brought you stalks of wheat covered in Nutella. You'd say, "What the hell is this?" Right? I don't want wheat. Of course you don't want wheat because you're not a bloody, you're not a cow. You're not. So you would reject these foods if they didn't jazz them up with all of these food stimulants or food drugs. And that is essentially the restaurant industry in a
That's even
nutshell.
the raw
Salt,
vegan
oil,
restaurant.
sugar.
That's even the raw vegan restaurant industry, Eli, because I worked
Yeah.
in the raw vegan
Yep.
restaurant industry for 10
Yep.
years in New York. And at the end of the day, I was an
Mm,
addict with the
yep.
salt and the oil and it's like, no wonder I wasn't in good health. I was a raw vegan, but I was an addict eating
Right.
all this non-raw food, non-healthy food. But I was like, no, but I'm eating from the restaurant. So that's why I
Hmm.
can't wait to open my own fast fruit restaurant. And I can't wait to invite
Oh,
you. I can't wait to invite you.
oh my
Yes.
God.
So it's going to
Yeah,
be
we need
fruit.
that desperately.
Yeah. And it's going to be a
Yeah.
chain too. Um,
Amazing.
one
Oh my
day, one
gosh.
day, fruit is life. Fruit
One
is
day.
life, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Eli, is there anything else that you'd like to express about salt that I cut you off from or you didn't get to talk about? Is there anything you'd like to share before we end the great salt debate? I'm going to call it Salted to Death, I think. I'm doing a
Right.
documentary. I think that's going to
Right.
be it. Is there anything
Uh,
you'd like to express or anything that I'd like to share about the salt that you haven't already?
that I haven't already. Um, Well, there are basics. Okay, we got to go. I know.
No,
There's
I don't want to take any of your time, but
oh yeah, yeah. No, it's
yeah.
yeah. I don't think a lot of us know like exactly what a salt is, like chemically, right?
No.
So that's always good to know. Um, a salt, right? A salt is when a non-metal binds with a metal element. So, or a non-metal atom binds with a metal atom. And that union, okay, it's an ionic bond, and we call that a salt, right? And there are, like we already discussed, there are tons of salts, right? Tons and tons of different types of salts. All of them equally not food. But salt, like sodium chloride, that for some reason it gets this pass because for whatever reason it has the taste, right? That familiar taste. Um, but that can be misleading. That can be misleading. If you ignore how it tastes, all right, it's still just lumped in with all of these other salts in nature that nobody considers food, right? So that's just something for you to consider. And there are other bonds, okay? So we call that a salt, the non-metal and a metal. There are well in there are three different types of bonds. I'm not going to go into this now, but just last little thought here. There's like covalent bonds, what we call covalent bonds, ionic bonds, and metallic bonds, right? Like a metal and a metal. So there are three different bonds out there. Salts are formed when you have a non-metal and a metal, and they make this ionic bond, and that's what we call a salt. And so of all these salts, there's just dozens of them. We only regard sodium chloride as a food because of this very unique taste it has. But it doesn't mean that it's food because it's the wrong kingdom. You like someone gave you directions and you ended up in you got it so wrong. You ended up on another continent. Like it's just you're way off. No, stick to plant world. That's the only place where you're supposed to get your nutrition.
No, the problem is nobody gave us directions. No, Eli, nobody gave us directions because you haven't written your book yet. But the sodium chloride, guys, because I don't know this, I'm looking it up as Eli is speaking. Sodium chloride is what table salt and sea salt is. Because
Yes.
people think they're like, oh no, there's no sodium chloride in my coconut aminos.
Hmm.
Oh, yes, there is, because you don't
Yeah.
know it because nobody taught us this until
Right.
today. I threw out my mustard recently. Honestly, Eli, I don't think I've ever gone. No, I've never in my 40 years on this earth, I've never gone 6 months without salt. Because there's a little salt in the mustard. And I like to put
Right.
the mustard in my dressing sometimes.
Right.
And it's
Right.
like that is, guys, that is sodium chloride. That's what we're talking about. The
Yeah.
table salt and the sea salt, which we think is healthy because it's from the sea. So, we think we're associating the ocean. It's
Yeah.
healthy, it's natural, it's the sea, but you don't drink seawater. You'll die.
Yes.
But nobody tells us this, Eli.
Yeah.
We don't learn this in school. We learn I don't know what we learn. We learn what the agenda wants us to learn. They don't want
Yeah.
us to know this shit. And by the way, the salt is all in your everything. And I'm just thinking about the raw vegans. So in your Bragg's amino, in your soy, in your nama shoyu, in your miso paste,
Yeah.
and I don't care what raw vegan, in your pickles, in your olives,
Everything.
I don't care what
Everything.
raw vegan is using it. You're in your body, and if you have aches and pains, backaches, knee pain, this problem, bloating, chronic bloating is a sign that you're eating salt.
Hmm.
And I was bloated as a raw vegan for most of my fucking time as a raw vegan.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Sodium chloride.
Right. Right.
Nobody
Right.
tells us.
Oops.
The
Yeah.
seaweed, the seaweed
Seaweed.
too.
Hmm.
There's sodium chloride
Everything.
in the seaweed.
Yes, it's in it literally is in everything, and it counts. It counts. It's so hidden. It's so easy to buy that product and not recognize, hey, there's salt added to this. But every time you do, every time you buy a product and you see that it's got salt, you ask yourself, if you're the business, I don't know. I buy
Kale chips,
olives.
kale chips.
Kale chip. Okay, fine. I buy some kale chips. All right. I
Mhm.
want some healthy kale chips. There's salt in the ingredients. Now, I am a business that is selling these kale chips. I have to make money. I have to make a profit. That's how it goes. I know that when people eat my kale chips, if I salt them with the cheapest, easiest, refined table white salt, they're not going to notice any real difference if I use, you know, premium yoga meditating upside down on the salt pile before he sells them.
He
That
eats it, he shits it out. It doesn't change
yeah.
like Eli
Yeah,
taught us
it does. Yeah,
today.
exactly. Yeah, they bless it, right? They're running ceremonies on it. It's twirling in circles, whatever, right? Before they sell you the salt. Okay, 88.99 for a tablespoon, all right? Go kill yourself. So, um,
Literally.
yeah, yeah.
You
No,
are.
not literally. No, not
No,
literally.
you literally are killing yourself. You are doing it to
Ah,
yourself. You're
yeah,
paying.
yeah.
You're paying, so you are doing it.
You're
Continue.
paying. Yeah. No, and so they are not using that salt, that premium yogi upside down salt. They're using refined table salts, right? Just refined as hell. And they know you're not gonna they have a business to run. So they need to addict you to the product, so they use salt, just like every smart business, every smart restaurant will use salt because they need you to be addicted to their food. And it'll be the cheapest type of food they can possibly find, right? Any of those products, you're asking for the cheapest salt that money can buy. And then the joke at the end of the day is that when you personally now go out to the store to buy salt, you're gonna drop all your money on that yogi upside down salt because you want to be healthy. But you're just getting it in anyway, eating those kale chips. And do you understand, right? You understand? You're just
Yeah.
it's coming in anyway if you play the restaurant game, right? Because
Okay.
you don't know. You don't know how they're preparing their stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're they're cutting corners.
Oh, 100%. They have
Yeah.
to. They
They have
have
to.
to.
They have to.
I worked at an organic food and beverage establishment, which shall remain nameless.
Mm, mm,
Everything was 100% USDA organic certified. When I went to the
mm,
commissary the first time as the operations director, I went to the commissary, which is the kitchen, guys. I see boxes, cases of non-organic kale, non-organic lemons. I'm like, what's going on here? They're like, oh, well, they didn't have those available today. So I'm like, wait, but we're certified organic. They're like, well, we couldn't get it today and we have to make the juice and we need the
yeah.
kale and we need the lemon. And I'm just like, how is this legal? Yeah. Well,
Right. Right.
we gonna move on.
I had a big wake up call way back in the
Tell
day when
me.
I was in school. I had a big wake up call when I worked at um, Wonderland, Canada's Wonderland. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a massive amusement park, probably one of the most popular amusement
Oh,
parks in Ontario. Huge, huge, sprawling amusement park. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. But I worked in the food warehouse, so I got a job at the food warehouse, and that opened my eyes. oh, in a way that, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I had that job because I got to see what the vendors were doing at the back of because in the park, in the amusement park, there are tons of individual food vendors. And so they're all getting supplied brought by the food warehouse. And so I worked in the food warehouse. So I would always have to visit like the back entrance, the back door, and drop off supplies or take racks that were dirty and bring them back, right? So I was the guy doing that. And my goodness, the filth, the filth, you cannot imagine the type of care that goes into supplying people stepping on hot dogs and buns, rolling on the floor, ice cream just accidentally falling, and tubs just going onto the warehouse floor. Scoop it up, put it back in the thing, ship it off to the reusing spent flour dough, like it got the worst nonsense. And they just bake it up, and they once they dump it in the fry pan, all it doesn't matter anymore. All those pollutants and contaminants are it's all hidden. And you would never know that there are workers literally tr tra trampling on your hot dogs before they serve them to you. It just opened my eyes. I couldn't believe it was almost funny. Like I had to laugh about it, but I couldn't believe what I was seeing every day, right? Oh
Yeah,
my God. Yeah.
yeah. And
But
even,
that's
yeah, how that hot dog was even before that, how that was produced in the slaughterhouse.
hmm Oh
We're
my
not
God.
even getting into that.
Oh, not even yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you to come back because we love having you here. Um, Thanks for destroying all the fucking things that we loved. But the thing is, and then I was gonna ask you, but I won't ask it because you
Uh,
answered it already.
mm,
Like sea salt, this is the last thing. Sea salt is in nature, so it must be, it's fine, it's in nature, but not everything in nature is for you to eat. And if you
mm,
think that that's a health product, then go to the ocean, go to the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean and take a cup of that and try to drink it and live to tell about it.
mm,
That's it, right? Like, because
yeah.
people think it's sea salt, it's in nature. But like Doug Graham and you answered it already, which is it's in nature, but you can't drink it. You will die. And there's
Yes.
many things in nature. Go eat dirt.
Mm,
Go eat dirt right now. Animals shit in nature. Go eat their poop. Although they
yeah.
want you to think that we used to do that. That's how we got our B12.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't. I can't with
No.
that one.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, no, no, thanks. I don't think I ever need to resort to that just to get my B12.
but there was a
And
study where vegans did that to study the Gregor. He did a study or he read a study once where vegans ate shit to increase their B12 and it worked.
yeah,
And it's like, but you don't have to do that. You could take a
you
supplement, Eli. So you don't have to do that.
yeah, I will not be able to go into it because of the integrity of your YouTube channel.
Oh,
But
trying to get me canceled? Don't do it.
yeah, no, I won't. I won't. But there is there is a level to this, a motivation to this that goes way beyond what people think. Um, all
Mhm.
I can say is that part of um, sorcerers,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
sorcerers and other types of personalities that you would find in dark coves and covens, witches' covens, um, anywhere where they're putting in rituals, okay, rituals to do something to manipulate the world in some way. Um, they are obsessed with filth, and they're obsessed with insulting the people that they're targeting, their targets, and convincing someone to eat their own crap. This is arousing beyond belief for dark manipulators, who have this religious type of affiliation, way beyond their title in, let's just say, government or some company or whatnot. Those obligations are nothing compared to the obligations of the cult.
Mm.
And
Mm.
these types of dark rituals, what they like to do is I'm doing this, but I'm just not naming names and stuff, right? So these types of rituals, right, that social engineers at the only at the highest level, okay, the downstream will have no idea this is happening, but at the highest level, they perform these rituals that involve all of this nonsense. Body fluids, they're obsessed with body fluids, and any kind of like witchcraft dealing with. Anyway, okay, so bottom line is, if they can convince a person to do disgusting, filthing, just abjectly just awful things, if they can, and you choose to do that by your own volition, that is, again, that is a level of satisfaction for the sorcerer that you wouldn't believe. They're just loving it. I'm like, oh my gosh, you fools,
Yeah.
you fools. I have taken something that everybody would reject in a moment's notice, and you are actually choosing to to do the worst of the worst. Eat your own crap. Imagine the audacity. Imagine convincing somebody to do that. It would never happen unless you know exactly what you're doing and you are
Mm.
a dark sorcerer of some sort who has access to information about the human psyche that allows them to manipulate you in ways so diabolical that one day you wake up and you're eating your own goddamn crap, and you think it's good. You think that that's a good, uh, you know,
Well, we're one
how
step
could we
away.
be so silly? How could we
We're
be
one
so
step
silly?
away from that, Eli. We're eating animal products with feces in it. We're eating supplements with God
I
only knows
know,
what in it. We're
I
one
know.
step away from that as a society.
Yeah,
Billions upon billions. How many vegans are there? 1% of the population. So there's billions of people eating feces daily,
yeah,
and they don't know it, and they're laughing at us in our face. And that's what really frustrates me and gets me angry. And people think that I am just an angry person. But if you only knew, you would be angry too. You would be passionate about trying
yes,
to save and help humanity too, if you only knew
yes,
what we knew.
yes,
Okay. But another topic for another day.
yeah.
Okay. Eli, you're amazing. You are so amazing. Thank you for your time. This is going to be so epic, and two parts, of course. And I just thank you so much for sharing your time and knowledge with us. You change lives every single time you talk, and you help me think of a new title for the documentary, An Assault on Your Body. Because assault is assault. Salt is in a
Oh, very
and you
nice.
said it like assault. You said it twice, and I was like, oh shit, they're assaulting us with the
Assault.
salt.
Perfect,
And we're
perfect.
paying
Yeah.
for it. And
Mm,
we're loving it. And we're eating ourselves to death. But right before
yeah.
we die, we're gonna be sick and need their help. And they laughing at us the whole
They
way.
just lie. Yeah.
And we're never
They
gonna get
just
the
laugh.
quality of life that we were supposed to as humans if we
Mm,
don't get off the salt. So I hope everybody watching this understands. And Eli never answered where he gets his salt from, but that's because he takes a supplement and it'll be available soon for purchase, I'm sure. But he takes an assaulting supplement. He never answered because it's obvious. Fruit and vegetables, mostly fruit, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Mostly fruit. And I don't even know if he eats vegetables. Do you eat?
No, I do. No, I do. I do. It's just not as often as maybe a lot of other raw vegans, but no, I do.
So you get all
I
your salt from fruit, all your sodium.
it seems to be the case. Yeah, but
For
again,
you, it's a silly question. For man, it's an important question.
yeah,
So you
no,
get
no,
all
no.
your sodium from fruit.
From from by at the end of the year, whatever fruit, vegetables, and nuts and seeds I've eaten, that's that. I don't have any. I don't have any other means of making any other determinations besides what resonates as food, right? And so
Yeah.
we're talking about a human diet, fruits, veggies, nuts, and seeds. And then if we're talking me personally,
Yeah.
then the the vast proportion is on fruit. But yeah, from time to time, no, there's definitely vegetables in the mix. I just came from a couple fruit festivals, and they have a culinary team bringing out all sorts of really interesting stuff. So when I was in the UK, for example, yeah, I ate veggies with everybody. It was great. I didn't have to worry anymore about eating something outside of my bounds, right? So I'm a lot less strict than I think people think I am. I'm open, but within the parameters that for me are common sense. Okay, so I am very open and easygoing. I'm not super like marshaled like militaristically, but I know my limitations and I know my bounds, and so I play in those bounds. So when something like Fruit Festival comes up, the Madagascar Fruit Festival, I don't know, then I'll go there and I can have fun with everybody and not just be like, no, I only eat fruit. No, no, this is I can have fun in the human diet, but left to my own devices, if it's just a normal day at home, just reading or making video content or whatever, just normal day or working on set, then yeah, typically that's almost always fruit,
Thank you
right?
so much, because this might be somebody's first time ever seeing you. And so
Right.
Eli's a professional stuntman. I believe he's
I'm
43,
42. 42.
42,
Yeah.
43 soon. And then uh he's active, very, very active. He's
Mm.
active. He's very smart. As you can see, he's not neurologically irreversibly impaired or whatever gonna happen. And it's been over 10 years he's been eating
Yeah.
this way. So he's doing something right. So take notes,
Mm.
subscribe to Eli. I'll leave the link below to the Bali retreat where you can see Eli, to his channel,
Oh, cool.
Woodstock Fruit Festival, everything. And thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Let us know if you enjoyed this and you want Eli back. Thank you guys. Bye.